Hello and welcome to round 5 of the FIA World Rallycross Championships. Now, this is the 66th World Rallycross round in its 6th season, 666, the number of the beast, fitting therefore we're here in Norway, and welcome to hell. It's going to be a hell of a weekend for us all here. And man of the moment, you can see him behind me, Andreas Bakkerud, of course, of Norway, home soil. What can he do here this weekend? We're live right now in the paddock at Verksted, of course, and we're going to be live for you throughout the entire course of the weekend for all of those qualifying rounds. So live for Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4 of the World RX, RX2 and the Euro Supercars as well. Plenty of racing to come. Let's take a look at where we have been in the World Rally Championships and where we are going on next in the World Rallycross Championships. So Abu Dhabi first up, then Catalonia, of course, Spa, Silverstone. We're here in hell. Next up will be Sweden, so a few of the Scandinavian races. And of course, we are at the midpoint of the season now, so the championship really beginning to take shape. Timmy Hansen then is top of those standings. Brother Kevin just 4 points behind. Behind that, though, is Andreas Bakkerud. He had a terrible start to the season, of course, with that crash that ended his weekend in Abu Dhabi. I'm going to queue up with all the autograph hunters now to have a quick chat with Andreas. Now, I'm going to lay some pressure on you right now.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
I heard in the distance it's going to be a hell of a weekend.
It is going to be a hell of a weekend. Did you like that?
Yes, I like that.
Okay, Andreas.
Here you can actually say that word.
I know,
Yeah.
True. Now, listen, 13 second places for you in World Rallycross over the years. I know, I'm sorry for this. Third, second and second so far this season, so 3 podiums. Your last win coming almost 3 years ago now. When are we going to see you on that top spot? It's got to be here, right?
It got to be here. It got to be here. We had the first win with the Ford Focus RS together with Hoonigan Racing Division here back in 2016. So it would be a nice spot to take the first podium with Audi S1, or first win with Audi S1 and with RX Cartel. So definitely all in. As always, every time my name is on the entry list, I'm there to win. Margins has not been in our favor, I would say, to get the win so far, but hopefully now we can put everything together and we start with new sheets and go all in.
You mentioned there the clean sweep, of course, the clean sweep in 2016, the first ever driver in history to do so. You obviously like this track. What is it about it that suits you? I
think this is, old school rallycross tracks, a lot of ups and downs, and you need to have a good feeling for grip, because it's an extremely slippery couple of corners. You have turn 2, which is like off camber, on camber, with big curves on the inside, and you brake there from dirt, and you bring the dirt with you to tarmac. So you always need to read the conditions all the time, and I guess in this paddock it's only me, Timmer, and Timmy that has done all the races, so some experience is good to have here.
Absolutely, and we are surrounded right now by your fans, and we've got a number, of course, in those blue sweatshirts, those blue t-shirts, the Bakkerud Blue fans. How much does it mean to you to have so many fans out here?
It means everything, because it wasn't meant that we was going to drive this year, and without them I wouldn't. So I spoke with everybody before we signed the papers to do the full season, and everybody was keen to support us. And we're up here from Bergen, where I'm from. We are 200 and close to 30 people flying up or driving or whatever, and we have hotels, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have flags, we have banners, we have everything. So it's pretty cool, and then the rest of Norway is here as well. So hopefully it's going to be a good weekend, and hopefully I can pay them back in good result.
Thank you very much to you, Andreas. Good luck as well. I'm sure a lot of people are rooting for you. No pressure at all. So Andreas Bakkerud then looking for that first win, the first win in almost 3 years, and a win once again here on his home track in Norway. To take you through all the action today, we have Dan Rook and first Andrew Coley.
Thanks, Laura. Lovely to be here in hell. Dan, good to see you.
And you, mate.
Incredible view. We're stood at the top of the Joker Lap. We've got a stunning view down the valley. The Spotters Tower's been moved up to the top of the hill this year. Dan, you've raced here. This track's super technical.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's probably one of the hardest tracks on the calendar. There's so many rises and falls and blind corners as well. Like the second corner here, TV doesn't do it justice, but when you're sat in the car, you're down, as low as you can be. and it's completely blind, and you're just dropping down to the left. Like, you don't really know where you're going at that point, so it's really difficult.
Well, fantastic. Looking forward to hearing Dan's thoughts. He's going to talk us through the classes. Remember, we've got RX2 Euro, RX and World RX. Of course, they're all racing on the same track, so let's take a look at the fantastic circuit here, the Langebanen Hell, Norway. We're very close to Trondheim. You can see the start goes up to turn 1, Joker Lap in turn 1. We're at the top of that Joker Lap with a bird's eye view of, we've seen some pretty sideways stuff during the course of practice this morning, and then we've got an onboard lap for you as well. So take a look at this. We rode on board with Andreas Bakkerud this morning, who of course Laura's just been speaking to. So this is Andreas up towards the finish line. And Dan, first of all, he takes standard lap. Now that braking zone's really bumpy.
Yeah, super hard. We've heard lots of front bumpers scraping along the floor. The back end of the car starts to get loose as it's going through the compressions, and then we drop down the left-hander that I was talking about, which is completely blind, and then again another downhill braking section onto gravel.
Into the bottom corner, so Andreas slightly deep and slightly too sideways there, but this was very early in the session, so the gravel's really loose, and we've seen the lap times increase. Dan, another tricky corner here. Yeah,
fully blind on the way in, but you've got to set the car up sideways, and you're basically looking at the barrier on the way down there, and you've got to be really brave and committed to try and get a good lap.
Up and over the finish. Now he comes down towards the Joker Lap this time, so onto the loose here. Early on the handbrake, sets the car up. Gas, gas, gas. Gears, gears, gears down the hill. And that is just into the second corner again on the run down. Brilliant. It is such a roller coaster of a track here, just up and down. And I say, to be honest with you, everything we can see for miles from here. You could build a rallycross track anywhere there, couldn't you? And it's like a cliff face.
Yeah, it's like a rolling hillside. This sort of scenery is what makes fantastic rallycross tracks. Of course, we go to Julius next, which is a very similar, again, like a roller coaster. So Scandis have got it down for rallycross.
They have. They've been doing it a long time. So we've got 2 traditional tracks coming up. This one is hell, and we're waiting for the guys from RX2 to start lining up. So that is pretty much, that camera's above left from where we are. You look at the Joker Lap down to turn 1. If you're wondering what the roundabout's for in the middle, it's actually for Robin Larson to do donuts around a couple of years ago. It's not. It's a vehicle testing venue. So you can see some skid pans in the paddock. In fact, you can see a shiny road going around a corner in the paddock. So they test cars here. They do driver training here. There's a tarmac loop which they can use, which goes down the hill, and you can see it goes off on different routes from the rallycross track. You can see our spotters tower and the commentary box. We're waving, but you can't quite see that. That's the merge. You can see also that they've just watered it down. So this session, I mean, the gravel here is pretty loose anyway, so it's not like people aren't expecting it to be slippery.
No, but of course that added moisture just makes everything that little bit slippier again, and you can see they've watered the hairpin at the bottom there, gravel hairpin as well, and especially when it's wet, it just drags all of the moisture onto the tarmac as well, so it makes the whole track a bit slippery.
That's the final pair of corners there, so you can see they come up over the gravel left-hander, car drops away there and then flick it round to the right, and as the camera pans around, you'll see the run up to the finish. Now, what you don't see there is just how steep that is. It is so steep. You are climbing to the finish line, and then there's that jump over the line. So it's a great challenge, whatever cars you're in. And the first cars we've got coming up, of course, are RX2. So the RX2 International Series is on round 4 of 7. So this is the halfway point of their season. Let's take a look at the championship standings. So right now then, Oliver Eriksson leading, and look at that. He, after 3 rounds, has only missed 1 point. Albert Oliveira is showing in second, which I think is slightly incorrect. Albert's a good guy, but I don't think he's quite up at that pace, so we're going to ditch those, and we'll just have somebody frantically pressing buttons downstairs. Ta-da! Done. There you go. So Oliver Eriksson leads, 1 point off a full 90. Then it's Kallio McConnell in third. Fraser McConnell took his first win last weekend in ARX2 over in the United States. If you missed ARX, where were you? So there's Trogan, Greisen, Gunderson, Nilsson and Michalak. Got a good entry here this weekend. We have 14 cars in RX2. These are the first 4. Oliver Eriksson on the left-hand side. And it's Volders, Trogan and Greisen. Now, they've repainted the grid this year, and they've put them quite over to the right-hand side of your picture. So the pole man, Ollie Eriksson is sitting in the pole. And because this is a 4-car race, the 5th car would appear to the right of where Greisen is on your screen. So this is a pretty competitive outing. Trogan's been P4 at every round this year so far. RX Academy champion Vasily Greisen has been on the pace. Eriksson obviously has absolutely been nailing it. And Volders was getting quicker last time out, having made the move from 2-litre rear-wheel drive touring cars to RX2. So it should be a good run to start the day. Get those marshals out the way and we should be able to get cracking.
Maybe a bit of a problem with the jump start sensor there or something?
Well, this is of course, new sensors for these guys, and apparently the Norwegian marshals yesterday were having to learn how to use them. They're used to the stick method, which is the way we used to do it, but now we've got some tech. So they're getting all techers. That tower to the left of the start line there is basically a bunch of sheds kind of stacked on top of each other. Now, the first year I was here, I was in the second to highest one, and when it's windy up there, there are actually cables that go right down to the ground and hold it in place. The stewards and timekeeping are in the various different levels up there. I believe the stewards are right at the top because they can see most of the track here, which gives you a good idea then of the elevation, because it's so steep. That's how high they had to build the pile of sheds to be able to see down.
Yeah, it is so steep, and I mean, we've ridden on boards and we've seen, you can see there the angle they have to look down to see it. Of course, you can just see the bank there in between the start line and the final corner. That's just the bank, but of course it drops down further than that. Again, that last corner is so steep, you're almost looking at the sky as you come up over the corner.
And that's why the fans are all up so high on the hill, because they get a great view from back there. So here we go then. Ericsson, the championship leader, on the inside with a nice start. Grimes into the good start on the outside. Let's see who chooses to go Joker on that one. Contact, Grimes in over the first race of the day. Grimes on his roof in the Joker. Back on his wheels, hits the tyre wall. Grimes rolls it in race 1, turn 1, lap 1. Unbelievable start to the weekend. He's way off track. So I don't know that they'll red flag it. We've got a light system here out on the track. He's okay in the car. Go on, start it up, lad. Go on. Grimes is going to go again. Grimes pulls away from the spotters tower in the car. He's rolled. Yes, Vasily Grimes, get out there and send it. Good lad.
Yeah, fair enough to him, but that isn't what he wanted to be doing. His first race out of the weekend. And it just shows how tight it is on the first corner here, especially with even starts in a spec car like this. They're all in a line, hustling to try and decide who's going to go to the Joker. Greisen just got caught up. I think it was probably a locking of wheels there, and it just put him over.
Trogan's gone Joker. That is an unbelievable start. We don't even have to go level 11 off the first start, the first race. It's mental. So Greisen, gold meds from Greisen for carrying on. If he doesn't get a massive cheer from the crowd when he finishes this one, I'll be staggered. I'm actually pretty staggered, Dan. You race his cars. They're certainly not weak, but you roll a car like that and smack it into the wall as he did. I'm surprised it carried on.
Yeah, I think he must have gone in at a fairly strong angle on it. Of course, he slid on his roof for quite a while there and then sort of bounced off the wall and got himself back on his wheels, thankfully, so that means he can carry on. But he's rotating around and he's not hanging around either, so it doesn't really show any signs of damage to the car.
Good lad, Grimes. Ericsson leading out front. Behind him, everybody else is joking. So you saw Sammy Matty Trogan go on the last lap. Volders, I think, went on lap 1. We were a little bit distracted on lap 1, funny enough, with a car rolling off the very first start of the day. Wow. So the gravel corner down the bottom there does tend to cut up. It's real deep gravel here. Up the hill will clean up a bit. You can see it's wet, so Dan, we might expect to see lap times coming down. How's he's on it.
Yeah, Greisen just did a 42.1 there, and well, that would be the second.
6/10 of Ericsson's quickest lap.
Yeah, so
go on, Vasily.
Giving it the big send straight away. Of course, his adrenaline is going to be absolutely pumping now, so it's all going to help him with his lap times.
Not a recommended way to get your adrenaline up. That is a recommended way to do a joke lap. Ericsson absolutely nails it, as we would expect him to. Comes out a long way in front. And, you know, this is the mark of a man who spent a lot of time in his cars and knows this circuit well.
Yeah, a lot of development with the cars. Of course, Olsberg's MSE originally came up with the concept for the supercar lights, and Oliver Ericsson, being the son of Andreas Ericsson, who owns the team and the whole concept. So Oliver, having done a lot of testing with the cars and driven them in various different countries, he won a championship in America in the cars as well. So he's got so much experience.
Going to take the first checkered flag of the day. Nicely done. Target time is 2:54.3. Where is Greisen on his hero drive? He's back out there somewhere. Look for the red car. Everyone on the run in. You can see Trogan and Volders. Here he is. Vasily Greisen binned it in turn 1. Thanks to contact. Not his fault. I have to say it's not looking too bad. Damage down the left side of the car. You'd like to hope the cage isn't damaged in that car. Yes. Round of applause for Vasily Greisen. That is a mega drive. Come on, guys, you need to be. They haven't clocked it. They haven't understood. Not okay, is it?
No, not at all.
Right, Someone have a word with the crowd. Need the PA man to get onto them. That was an epic drive by Gryazin. Rolls it in turn 1, makes it to the finish. There he is. He's off the pace, but that doesn't matter. Get that man a medal and potentially some sort of a calming beer. Volder's third, Trogan in second. Ericsson takes the win, 2:54.3. But the track is potentially going to get quicker because it's just been watered.
Oliver, well done, championship leader, and starting as you mean to go on here in hell. How was that track feeling, and how aware were you as well of the carnage on turn 1?
It was good. I mean, I've been quite lucky with the draw lately. Pole here again set me good up for the first heat. They put a lot of water on the track, so we'll see for the coming heats how the track evolves if it gets quicker. And I just saw a car swoosh by on the roof, so I just hope Vasily is okay and that he can continue the next one.
Thank you, well done.
Thank you.
He comes in on Sami Matti Trogan, and is there blimey, okay, I don't know, to me he turned across the front of Trogan.
Yeah, I mean, I think Volders would have been going for the Joker lap there, so man in P2 going for the Joker lap, and of course Gryazin coming over to give the squeeze, and Sami Matti Trogan left in the middle there, sandwiched him in, and just that contact to the rear of Vasily Gryazin's car. But you can see the contact he made with the wall was on the bottom of the car, so yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too much damage, especially to the roll cage.
It was a fair hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, but luckily not enough to break steering or damage wishbones or anything like that. So, and of course only going slightly over onto the side, hopefully it hasn't damaged his cage either. But Oliver Ericsson there though had a fantastic drive and kept it clean and took the first race win of the weekend.
Nicely done, Oliver Ericsson and Dan Root. Good job. So we're waiting on the next 5 out on track. Dan, what's your thoughts on track conditions developing? It's drying pretty quickly to me, looking at the sun. We've got a light breeze as well.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Oliver say watering the track, of course, is going to make it that bit slipperier. So we're going to see some track evolution here for sure.
Kallio on the inside here, P2 in the championship, P3 in the championship, Fraser McConnell right next to him. Then it's Jimmy Walfriton, Marcus Hogland and Morten Askeland away from the line. Good start by McConnell. Good start by Kallio on the inside, almost contact again. Joker lap this time. We've got Walfriton and Askeland have gone. So it's Kallio from McConnell on the stand lap. These guys are going to go at it, look into the next corner, round the left-hander. Walfriton manages to edge Askeland. So those guys have gone for an early Joker. Kallio and McConnell. I have to say, I thought there was going to be contact on the run into turn 1 there. It was a right bundle.
Yeah, they seem to be elbowing a little bit, but just managing to keep themselves clear. And thankfully, we haven't seen an instant like we did in the first race there. So these guys getting a good start, and now, you know, it's sort of damage limitation at this point, isn't it? When you see the guys piling it into turn 1, they need to be a bit careful.
Fraser McConnell going to go Joker. So McConnell won last weekend down at ARX2. I was lucky enough to be out in Mid-Ohio for that. Bucky Lasek was alongside me out there. If you missed ARX, you can watch all of it on Facebook and YouTube. So there was also a highlight show if you're over in the States on CBS-SN. And we'll be heading over there for a few more rounds. So McConnell, that breakthrough win means a lot, doesn't it? You know, the phrase, it gets a monkey off your back. I really think it does.
Yeah, it really does. It's such a confidence boost, and it's similar like when we saw Johan dominate. When he won one race, then he had that confidence. He won another race, had that confidence, and it literally, you're riding on this wave of knowing that you beat everybody at the last round, so you can effectively do it again. And he's coming here with a P1 now under his belt, which he didn't have before, and he's going to be feeling epic.
Feeling epic, he certainly is. Kallio and Hogland don't joker on this lap, so McConnell now chasing them down. Second longest joker of the year in a supercar. We believe the difference can be up to 3.9, or an average of 3.9. Kallio has done really well so far at the start of this season. Look at that. You can see the confidence in the car down as he turns it in over that crest. Yeah, just flicking it sideways before you even get to the corner and able to set it up, and then as you go down through the dip and the compression, it's the car grips up as you then drop down through the hill, and you can have that confidence to throw it sideways because of that grip that's coming there. Kallio goes Joker. Hogland's gone too. McConnell's going to come out behind Kallio, but only just. So not a lot of difference in the lap times between Kallio and McConnell. Pretty sure Kallio's been here before, hasn't he? Whereas Fraser is learning another. Yeah, in fact they're bang on. Look, almost, aren't they? 41.6s between them. So how is that comparing? But Ericsson a 41.2. My goodness me. So Ericsson's got 3/10 on them. I don't think there's a lot in the track conditions, but there is obviously a lot in Ericsson. So Kallio around the long right-hander, going to take the first checker of the day for him. Connell P2, and then over the line, Wilfridsson, Hogland and Asklund. So Kallio P2 in the standings has had a third place in 2 seconds so far. He's been on the podium at every round, but unable to knock Ericsson off the top spot at the end of the weekend, and at the minute not able to knock him off the top spot here either. So Kallio, McConnell, Wilfridsson, Hogland and Asklund, but as you will see, none of them are able to match the pace of Ericsson. There's not a lot in it, half a second, so that would suggest that Kallio maybe did a better Joker lap, because certainly the best lap of Ericsson was a little way ahead. It's close at the front, but it's the top three in the championship who are in P1, 2 and 3 at the minute.
Jesse, a great run, 0.5 behind Oliver Eriksson in race 1. How was it from your seat?
Yeah, it was quite good and clean run, and good to be close to Oliver and try to catch him in the next heat.
He mentioned the track was a bit wet. Did you feel that as well?
Yeah, it was a little bit more wet than in practice because they have watered, but it was okay, no problem.
Thank you, best of luck for Q2.
Thank you.
So this was the start, and if you look to the left-hand side of the grid, I kind of feel like there was nearly contact, well, there was contact between Kallio and McConnell, and then it was the squeeze there, and in fact the guy who was in P3 who went Joker on lap 1, I think it was Asklund, it was a good job he did go Joker, because for a minute I thought he was turning in across the pack.
Yeah, and well, it tends to be the line on the way into the Joker. You tend to cut across the front of the people that are going standard, because they're braking that bit earlier. You're able to carry that extra momentum and sort of almost cut in front of them, which can look a bit dodgy, but luckily they got away with it this time. But of course, we saw in the last race that it can go wrong, and we saw on social as well what happened to Liam when that happened off the line as well. So it can go wrong here into turn 1.
Kallio with a very nice Joker lap indeed, and that just sliding him out in front of Fraser McConnell. It's a good racing. We've got another 5 cars to come. So there's a look down the valley. That's Trondheim Airport down at the bottom, which is where we landed. You can fly directly here from the UK, or if you're Dan Rook, you have to fly via Amsterdam, didn't you, Dan, eh?
Well, yeah, that's just the joys of living in the West Country and flying from Bristol.
Local airport business, eh? No, it's great, though. Literally, the airport is literally a 5-minute drive from the track. So you could almost day trip this place. Unfortunately, there isn't a flight out in the morning and a flight back in the evening, that would be awesome when it's a day trip, a World Rallycross event from somewhere else in Europe. There's a lot of flights out to Trondheim Airport, so it could not be closer. It's definitely the closest track to an airport that we have of the season. This is the final race of RX2 for Q1. Gundersen on the inside, then Lavera, Simon Olofsson, Anders Michalak, and we have on the outside Petter Leohol, Norwegian driver. Some of these guys only appear for the Scandinavian rounds because they're local rounds, or maybe they don't have a whole budget. Leohol going to go Joker on lap 1. In fact, 3 cars Joker on lap 1, but Ben Philip Gundersen, who's one of our championship pace setters, has gone with the standard lap. So Gundersen, and in fact Olofsson's gone with him as well. So Olofsson 0.5 off the back of him, and those 2 guys are regulars, and I'm guessing they're happy to follow each other, aren't they? Because they don't necessarily know the pace of the other guys. Michalak, we know.
Yeah, so these guys are going to be working together to just set the lap times in, and they would have seen the 2 races before and the outcome of those, with of course the top 3 in the championship being the ones that are now top 3 in the times. So they're not going to be doing anything silly to try and hold each other up either.
Leohol sideways over the crest. Anders Michalak behind will be keen to find a way through. Michalak at the minute is in P8. He was 6th last time out in the UK, retired in the final. I think we had loads of cars retire in the final, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We had 3 cars retire in the final in the UK.
It was a 3-car final come the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. After the 3rd restart, wasn't it? I think we had people pile into the tyres in turn 1 in both. So Michalak up underneath the rear wing of Leohol and runs a little bit wide himself. Going to need to stay close if he wants to make any kind of move. Dan, how easy is it to overtake here? It's not the easiest. We've seen it at the bottom hairpin here.
No, it is really hard, and if you're going to make an overtake, you're going to sort of almost have to open up your own door, because there is sort of one line through, especially through the gravel section. You can get away with a bit more on the tarmac, but yeah, it is sort of single file line through the gravel section. So if you're going to make a move, you're going to have to be really confident with it.
Olofsson comes out the Joker lap. So in fact, Leopold, I think he's on a pretty decent pace here. Certainly not miles off the back. Bearing in mind, Olofsson, Michalak and Gundersen and Lavera have all spent more time in the cars. Gundersen out front is the one we need to watch, because it's Gundersen who's had the pace all year, made that mistake, unfortunately, in Spain at the start of the year where he closed the door on everyone. In fact, he was disqualified from a session which took him from P3 out of the semi-finals, and I'm gutted because he's racing at home here in Norway. Let's hope he gets a good result at home. Into the Joker, so Gundersen with a tidy style on the way in, he's on the gas early on the way out. And he's a long way in front, so Gundersen's done a good job here. Target time 2:54.3, bottom of your screens.
Yeah, and Gundersen's last lap time there is only a 10th off of the back of Oliver Eriksson's lap time, but it just depends on his consistency through the race. We saw Oliver set a smoking fast lap time compared to Jesse Callier, but then in overall race time was only half a second up. So
yeah, and the Joker too, it does it because of course the Joker's gravel, and that's one of the areas of the track that's noticeably dried right under the commentary position. So Gundersen here looking to take the session. I think he's going to be very close. He does, takes it by 0.2 of a second. So Gundersen wins Q1. Very good drive, but Dan, I have to say, I think probably track conditions have helped him a little bit there. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that is fair, and having that little bit of extra grip is, especially away from this hairpin, where it's a lot of wheel spin, it gives you that bit of advantage.
So Ben Philip Gundersen 2:54.1, fastest time of the session. Olofsson P2, Leopold P3, Michalak is 4th, and Lavera in 5th. But it is Gundersen who wins Q1. So he takes the session by 0.2 of a second, but all the usual suspects are up there and they're within a couple of seconds. So well done, Ben Philip Gundersen.
Well, a great drive there, and you are now placed first after Q1. How does that feel?
That's perfect. Very good start on the event, and yeah, the car was feeling very good, and I had a good feeling on the track, and everything was very good.
And Oliver Eriksson in the first race, and indeed Jesse Callier in the second, both saying that it did feel wet. Did you feel it was drying up?
It was drying up to the last 4 hours heat, so I think we had a bit more better on the track. Yeah.
Thank you. Well done. Best of luck for Q2.
Thank you.
So this is another look at the start. Ben Philip Gundersen on the inside. Simon Olofsson going with it. You can see Michalak goes into the Joker P2 behind Leohol, looks for a way through, Dan, and Leohol actually either cleverly defensive or just not that quick on the exit.
Yeah, I think a bit too fast on the way in and had to try and slow it down and rotate the car quite late. And Michalak there trying to find a hole but having to back out a bit to avoid a heavy contact.
This was Olofsson taking the Joker with a couple of laps to go. Merging a little way in front, but it was when Gundersen went that we saw what a good job he'd done. And say, Dan, well, I guess we're going to see his Joker lap here, and we can see maybe how dry that gravel section is. He might, yeah, here we go. Okay, we didn't see it, but in the background, you guys can see at home. It's dark and wet if it's been watered, and there's a bit of dust kicking up now. So dry track, good job by Gundersen. So there we go, standings then after Q1. Ben Philip Gundersen wins the session from Eriksson, Kallio, McConnell. Then it's Olofsson, Walfriton, Leohol and Trogan. And that is actually the second session win for Gundersen. So Gundersen won a session back in Belgium when he qualified 3rd. So nicely done by Gundersen to win a session here in Norway as well. So that's RX2 done for Q1. We've got Euro RX Supercar coming up. So those guys are on their second event. Their first one, of course, was Silverstone last time out. Dan, we've seen some pretty epic driving and some great lap times from the Euro RX front runners. Yeah,
we know the pace is there, of course. Robin Larsen, Thomas Brinterson, and Sondre Evgen as well, looking really strong here in practice. And we've seen some fully committed Joker laps with some superb car control. So I'm really looking forward to what they can do. Yeah, we are. We're standing down there basically judging. I'd have liked cards for us to hold up because there were some serious 10s during practice. I think people were sending it and not really worrying too much about lap times. We might see them be a bit more sensible. They weren't all that sensible back at Silverstone, of course. There were a few little incidents and accidents, but Robin Larsen did a great job there. Take a look at the standings and we can see where he sits compared to the others.
So Larson with a perfect weekend. Brinterson didn't show the pace really until the final. So during the course of the weekend, he was kind of there, but come the final, he was absolutely bang on it, right behind Larson. Then we got both the Dubourgs. They were quick at different times, JB and Andrea. Then it's Munich, who I have to say was looking great this morning. Tiedemann, again, super fast at Silverstone, didn't quite go his way come the end of the weekend. Karai and Ikonen are your top 8. Beautiful view down just outside those barns. That's the entrance to the track, actually comes past those barns just out the front. It's got a lovely display of classic cars, which I have to say is very nice. Never have time, unfortunately, to stop and look at them. Always coming in here to talk about rallycross, but all good. We can live with that. So, huge crowd. 4 cars in this first race. We've got Mikko Ikonen, who is in 8th at the minute in the standings. Then Stein Egil Jensen, JB Dubourg, who is in 3rd, and Brinterson, who is in 2nd. So we've got 2 of our top 3 are in this one. JB Dubourg in the blue Peugeot, slot number 3, and slot number 4 is Thomas Brinterson. So Brinterson and JB Dubourg will be looking for a good start. Dan, I reckon they'll go Joker 1 personally from that slot, but let's see what happens on their inside. Here we go. Good start, Prince on the outside, and JB Dubourg as well. They're going to come down. Are they both going to go Joker? JB locks up, shuts the door and goes standard lap. You can see there was contact in the background. Tidily done by Dubourg. Dubourg takes the Joker straight away, and behind it was, who was it that got caught? Jensen, Stein Egil Jensen, who had a problem. I think there was contact on the run up to turn 1.
Yeah, I think he went slightly on 2 wheels there. I thought we were going to see someone else get pitched over on the first race of the Euros, but luckily we didn't. And but it was JB and Brinson both got a fantastic start, and that meant they could split the strategy. Of course, they're both starting on the outside, so I think if it was an even line going through, we would have saw them both go to the Joker lap. But because they both got a fantastic start, JB was able to cut in front of the rest, Brinson was able to go Joker, and they've then split their race.
So those guys on a different strategy each. We'll keep an eye on the lap times for you and see. Brinterson last time, neither of them won a session. Brinterson was 2nd and Dubourg was 3rd in the UK. Actually, potentially one of them might. My stats are incomplete. That's terrible, Andrew Coley. You're fired. Dubourg leading from Ikonen. Dan's having a look at the times now.
Just in that last sector, Brinson took 4 tenths out of JB Dubourg, so Brinson is on a massive push, of course, racing at home here. Brinson being from Norway, and you can see the gap is already on the back of him.
Quite surprising, is it, they didn't send JB in response to that straight away, really?
Yeah, of course, maybe they thought they had a little bit more pace than what they do, but Brinson half a second faster on that last lap than Dubourg.
Did you see where Brinson was in practice? I have to say I didn't see where he was compared to Larson, because we know Larson's super quick. Larson was up in P9, wasn't he, against the world guys? Yeah,
I think Brinson was pretty much there with him when I sort of checked. Like I said, I didn't fully study it either, but when I did check, it was him and Larson were like a tenth, if that, apart. So Brinson has got awesome speed.
Final lap, Dubourg's going to go Joker here. Watch for Brinson on the inside lines. Going to be a no contest at the merge, I'm afraid, and Dubourg will be very disappointed running down. When you exit the Joker and you've been leading like that and you see that, it's like, okay, wow, work to do.
Yeah, and you don't even see it until you get to the apex, because of course these guys rotate the cars really early. He's then at the apex and he just sees this car cut in front of him. It's a bit disheartening.
It was disheartening when they come across right in front of you. When they come across, like, 200 metres in front of you, that's really annoying, isn't it? So Dubourg will look to improve on that. Brinterson, of course, could be on for a session winning time here. This is the first race of Euro RX, so we don't know. He does a 2:42.8, and that is some 12 seconds faster than they were going in RX2, so that's considerable, isn't it? RX2 sometimes is quite close to the time of supercar, but here, I guess with the steepness of the hills, like we've seen the supercars, make a huge difference to lap time.
Yeah, they're having that extra power and torque, and they're just able to drive themselves up over the hill, and that's where the RX2 struggle, especially with it being naturally aspirated.
Bit of altitude here in Norway as well, so the turbocharged engines of the supercars help with that too. They're down on power as well, but not so much as a normally aspirated engine would be. Brinterson done a nice job there, 2:42.8. JB Dubourg nearly 3 seconds off the back, and then it's Ikonen and Stein Egil Jensen.
Well, a 2:42.8 and a win in your first race on home soil, of course, for you. How satisfied are you?
Yeah, for sure. It's really good to do a great first heat, and I'm really happy with that. But I think the track will development a lot, but I tried what I could.
And do you feel there's more speed for you there?
What?
Is there more speed there for you?
Yeah, I think the speed is okay, but we will see how fast the other are, but it feels quite okay.
Thank you. Good luck for Q2.
Thank you.
So take a look at this start and watch the white car of Stein Egil Jensen, because there's contact somewhere here where there rides up the rear, doesn't he, of Ikonen, and Dan, you thought the same as me. I must admit I was distracted by that. I thought he was going to go over like we saw Gunnarsson do. Not Gunnarsson, but Gryazin, sorry.
Yeah, but luckily he didn't have that problem. Looked like he was going to go standard lap, and then of course the contact knocked him wide and went to the Joker lap. So not his original plan, and hopefully he didn't damage the car, because it would have quite a significant hit.
This is the little hole developing down at the hairpin. They're very good at track repairs here, as you can imagine. They'll just drag that gravel back over tonight, do a bit of regrading. The track holds up pretty well, or has done in the past. Brinderson, though, doing a fantastic job there. And that's a hell of a target for everyone else to beat. Right, have a guess where we are. Norway. There's the whole selection, and in fact, look at that, they've even managed to get a Jamaican flag up there too, so it's good to see that the flags in the background represent the nationalities of the drivers who are competing here this weekend. So I remember there was an event we went to once, and somebody said, my flag's not up there, and we found it for the following day, so we always try and get the flags up for all the drivers. Brilliant view for those spectators up behind the grid as the last car pulls onto the line. It's a name you'll be familiar with if you've watched World Rallycross for a long time. On the inside, we've got Hans-Göran Ostreng, then it's Lucas Walfridsson, Alex Vucic in the middle, Ola Christian Temte, saw him this morning competing for the first time since the last round of Nordic last year, so about 8 months. And on the outside, Alexander Wahl. So Alexander Wahl was a regular in World RX. Solberg's teammate at one point. Good start, Alex Wahl on the outside. Ola Christian Temte moves across on Walfridsson. Wahl, I think, is going to go Joker, and Ola Christian Temte's gone with him. So, Wahl Joker first lap, kind of sensible from that slot on the grid. He actually won the start, but, then went Joker straight away.
Yeah, but of course, to cut across from the outside like that and try and brake in front of people that you don't know what those other people are doing Joker-wise, if he was to try and cut in front, he could have just been absolutely ploughed in the back. So Joker lap straight away, get it done, and now he can set about doing his own pace with a bit of air in front of him.
Walfridsson comes around the long right-hander. Down these long corners, particularly with the curbs on the inside, you've got to get your line bang on. And especially when it's so steep uphill. That camera angle does actually give you a good idea how steep it is.
Yeah, it is so steep. And that last corner is actually really tricky. It's one that I personally struggled with the most at this track. It's like a double apex. So you come in really tight on the way in, and then you let the car run to the middle of the track partway through, and then you cut in again on the way up over the hill. You're not trying to use too much track on the way out. But
why was that hard for you? What was causing you the issues? We spoke to Liam at Barcelona, and he could not nail that hairpin. He said, I've tried it Matthias's way, I've tried it my way, I've tried sending it tidy, I'm losing 6/10. So there's just a corner sometimes kills you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me some of it was a bit
nice passing here. Wahl on the inside, contact all the way up towards the jump. Go on, Dan, sorry.
See, I think for me that corner was almost a bit of a mental block. I'm going, no, I don't want to let the car run wide. I kept it tight all the way up through, and it just dropped me that time. But then when I did try and go a bit wider and what have you, I then cut back too tight on the next apex, and it's just a constant battle with yourself.
And it's much easier, isn't it, in a supercar than it would be in an RX2 car?
Yeah, because
relatively speaking.
I mean, yeah, obviously, of course, I haven't driven this circuit in a supercar, but you can see as we look at Walfridsson here, taking it nice and smooth actually, but some of the guys will come in there with rotating the car already, so they would have hit the first apex while sliding and then driven themselves out of the corner.
Walfridsson into the Joker lap, gets on the handbrake, Wahl's on the inside, Alexander Wahl going to come close on the merge, Wahl's in front, great drive by Alex Wahl, getting caught up in traffic but didn't let it affect him, just push. So he's now got to chase the clock. Bottom right of your screen, Brinderson's time. What's Alex Vaal going to do here this weekend? It'd be great to see him back up at the front end. You know, he was quick enough in World RX, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely was, and well, it's good. Like I said, it's good to see him back out, and even with traffic, fighting his way to the front.
Not going to trouble Brinderson's time. Clock's gone past that already, but he won't be too far off the back. Vaal takes it from Welfredton. 2:47.1. There you can see 4.2 seconds off, so it's actually more than I thought. When we have a look at the replays, maybe we can see if he was caught up for a bit too long.
Brinderson's time there is fast.
Yeah, very.
That is fast.
Larsson's in the next one, along with Andreas Bakkerud and Peter Hedström, so one of those guys might be able to challenge it. Alexander Vaal not able to challenge that top time in Q1 race 2 of Euros. Welfredson second, then Ostring, Vucic and Temte. This is where they slot in Brinderson. In fact, JB Dubourg faster as well. So it's the usual suspect at the top. We've got some more usual suspects to come, but that's a great run by Alex Vaal, and nice to see him back here competing with us.
Well, Alex, well done. Another Norwegian win on home soil. You've got to be pleased with that.
It feels amazing. I haven't been in a race car since 2017. Peter called me last week and asked if I wanted to drive this car. The car is good, team is good, and I'm just so thankful. It's amazing.
I can see looking at your eyes, actually, this is quite emotional for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's first race since my father passed away, and I also got a kid that's here watching, so it means a lot.
I'm sure they'd both be very proud. Well done to you.
Thank you.
Alex Vaal, really genuinely, really emotional to be back here competing. 2017, so it's, you know, more than a couple of years probably since he was in the car. This was his first lap joker. And Dan, you know, with 2 years out of the car, he's not really far off it. Plus, we need to see the little moment where he gets caught up in traffic.
Yeah, this is the moment here. So
tidily done. Look, I mean that's not the pass of a man who's missed 2 years, is it? That's someone who's on fire.
No, he's obviously pumped up, and having won the start as well, he'd be feeling good about it.
So Alexander Vaal on his return, as Dan said, winning a start, but also with a great pass as well. So expect Vaal's pace to pick up during the course of the weekend. That's not a bad start. He's currently in P3. Next car's on the line and good to go already. So you can see Andrea de Borg got the inside line next to him, Robin Larsson, and next to him Peter Hedström. So this random draw for Q1 down has chucked in a couple of bad boys, doesn't it?
Yeah, and well, there's history between Larsson and Hedström so far this year already. Not within the European, but within the Nordic series.
Is that when you were in Holius?
It's when I was in Holius, yeah. There was a big old fight between those two guys on track, and well, ended up in Hedström unfortunately having to retire with broken steering. But yeah, we know that there's no love lost between these guys so far this year.
No love lost. There will be not much room given up at turn 1, so tighten those belts, people. Hopefully this is going to get spectacular. Vasily Gryazin doing a good job of making sure that Q1 was spectacular 15 seconds after it started. Which is always interesting. If you missed that earlier, Gryazin rolled his car in turn 1 on the very first start, very first corner of the very first lap of the weekend. After practice had finished, the first competitive lap he went over, so we've seen some action already. We've got plenty more to come all weekend live, all classes. Here we go. Even start between our three favourites on the inside. Hedström goes wide, going to go Joker, surely going to cut towards the apex, does go Joker. So Hedström's gone Joker up into the first corner. Dubourg leading from Larsson on the sound into the wall. August is in the wall in the background, missed that, sorry, looking down at turn 2. Oh, look at Dubourg as well, you can see the car jumps up, but Larsson's got way more pace. He wants to be way later on the brakes than that, and he's going to struggle now. He's going to have to go Joker or find a way through.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to. Of course, he's all over the back of him. Look, you can see he's looking all in his mirrors, trying to distract him, but there's no way through on that section of track, and well, looking like he could be having a look up on the inside here, but not quite able to get the drag out. I think you can see him going wider. He's going to go Joker. I would have thought. No, he's not gone Joker, so
it's going to cost him time, isn't it? So he's going to follow the ball for another lap. Larsson feeling potentially that he's going to drop behind Hedström, but I have to say at this point that wouldn't be a bad thing, because Larsson, yeah, this is nothing against Dubourg. Dubourg is quick, but Larsson this morning was rapid. He was on another level quick.
Yeah, he was so fast. He was actually even putting it to the World RX boys this morning in practice.
So, he'd be looking at semi-finals in Worlds, wouldn't he? Definitely. absolutely. Like it's a P7 on run 1, then the track cleaned up a bit. Look at that, runs the nose of the car right across the barrier. So, well, De Boer's in time to hold his line. De Boer going quickly as well. We'll check the lap times in a second when he crosses the line. De Boer does a 39.2. So, yeah, he's bang on the pace of Brinson, to be fair. De Boer's going quickly too. It's just that Larsen this morning was ultra quick. De Boer going to merge with Hedström. Going to be close. De Boer's got him. So, De Boer actually is going really well. It's just how much faster can Larsen go if he's not caught up behind him? Have we done De Boer a disservice?
Yeah, so you can see the back of the wheel of De Boer's car, they're really pitching up. You can see how heavy they're braking, they're going downhill there as well, and the tarmac isn't exactly smooth on this track. So really challenging the dampers on these cars, but Robin's car looks so dialed.
Oh, it looks absolutely mega, doesn't it? Up towards the jump, Larsen now is going to pull a couple of cogs, launches it. Now he's going to go Joker. Watch for this, he was spectacular this morning. Larsen on the bar, on the rev limiter, round perfect apex. Have some of that. Going to be close, but that is what a perfect Joker lap gets you. It gets you 2/10, it gets you the lead. Larsen does De Boer on the Joker. That was mint.
That was so cool. Early rotation and just revs.
He did that. How many times? He did that about 5-6 times in practice, and I reckon he got it bang on twice. That is when to get it bang on. He's got it bang on when it counted. August is off again. Car up the bank on the inside. Larsen coming round, chasing the time of Brinson, 2:42.8. Not quite going to get there, so Brinderson still the quickest. Larsen, I think, not able to match those times thanks to that first couple of laps, but I have to say Brinson's time is increasing, looking very, very good indeed. JB De Boer, Andrea De Boer, you know, we've got a load of people up on a good time here. Mandy August climbing out of her car, so that's a shame that one didn't go her way. You could see the lock-up lines over the crest, so come over the crest with the car unweighted.
I think she must have caught the barrier on the inside there,
Good
like you're saying. It's a bit of a blind corner there, so maybe a bit of contact pushed her into the bank.
Larsen takes it 2:44.8. Then Andrea De Boer, Peter Hedström, Attila Moser and Mandy August with a DNF. Where do they slot in? That's where they go. So Larsen gets P2. He's 2 seconds off the pace of Brinson. I wonder if he lost that at the start of the race.
Well, Robin, a perfect Joker lap there. How much pressure were you under to get that right?
I don't know. I was upset after missing the gear in the start. It was a good launch until the third gear, so a little bit upset for that.
Okay, so some mixed emotions right now. It is a little bit slower than we saw Brinderson go as well, partly due to, I think, the battle you were having. How much more speed will we see?
Yeah, of course, we were behind the Borg in the 2 laps and the bad start, so I saw Brinson went really fast and good lap time, so I pretty much know on the first lap that it's not going to be easy to take the first time, so I'm pretty happy with the second time, but yeah, annoying with a mistake.
Frustrations. Well, good luck for Q2. Thank you.
Well, Larsen's face reads like a book, doesn't it, Dan? This was the point at which he missed a gear, you think?
Yeah, so he seemed to pull away level with Hedström and then just suddenly drop backwards. I think we missed it there in the replay. But yeah, like I said, missed...
Oh, it was him that put August off. So watch on the inside, there was contact between Larsen and August. To be fair to Robin, you know, that's not deliberate. That tiny glancing blow, and Mandy August was pushed off to the side.
Yeah, I think Robin maybe got caught up slightly on the curb on the inside and pushed him off onto to lean on Mandy, but would have snatched the wheel out of her hand and sent her off to the side of the track.
Just say it was a great run by Andrea De Boer. De Boer came out in front of Hedström. I say, I thought it was interesting. You contrast the style of De Boer and Larsen. It looked like Larsen was being held up, but to be fair to De Boer, I don't think being held up that much.
No, and this is the perfect Joker lap. Look at that. Kicking dirt.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. You know, to nail the apex like that, and De Boer, to be fair, would have been well within his rights to think, I'm going to come out in front there, and you're going to be a bit disappointed when it's that close. Unbelievable Joker lap from Robin Larsen right under our noses here. Kind of, you want to look out the window, but you're looking at the pictures too. Dan, that was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. It's so great to see the car control like that coming into this Joker, and it's not exactly like it's easy to do. It's uphill, and you never really quite know how much rotation you need to put on the car. But when you come in backing it up like that, or at that point, all you can do is just foot to the floor and hope for the best.
I love the fact he was on the limit. Basically, apex is here. He's coming in backwards, sideways, already on the limit. limiter, and like judging that is just such a fine art. We saw Solberg do it in the past, but let's take a look back at Larsson's Joker. We'll give you an idea of this. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it as well. So you're not going to be able to hear it, I think, but coming in here, watch this, look, on the handbrake, and he's on the limiter, isn't he? And you can see the car being pulled forward, Dan.
Yeah, just using the wheel spin from the car to, and all four wheels going for it, and just driving him through the corner then to pull him into the apex, because he looked like he was running super wide, but then, just pulled himself in again.
And so close on the merge. I'd say for De Bourg, if De Bourg's done a tidy lap the previous lap, you're going to be like, come on, but that's is it the perfect Joker though? Because we were discussing this earlier. Is that the fastest way?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I think we're going to have to see a few more races and look at some lap times between what different method works out, because you could come in there straight and handbrake the car around and just drive yourself out again, or you could come in there fast but sideways all the way in and using that momentum of the car being effectively backwards and then driving against yourself to slow yourself down and go in. But I think if we have a look at a few more runs of the Joker and see what method works.
What we're hoping is that Robin's method works the best, because if Robin's method works the best, we're in for a mega weekend of side race business basically up at the Joker lap. So we will see soon enough. We'll grab a few different Joker lap times during the course of the day, and we'll make a comparison for you. Maybe in Q2 we can take a look at what we think is the ideal Joker strategy. We'll get Dan on the analysis looking at the lap times. Final race of qualifying for Q1 for Euro RX. Hell in Norway. Barbosa on the inside, then it's Rennie Munich. Sondre Evjen, watch out for Evjen, fast in practice. Watch out for Tiedemann in the middle, also quick. And Tamas Karai on the outside. So the outside three here, in fact, no, Rennie Munich as well. So Munich was fast at Silverstone and was really good. Munich did a Joker very similar to Larsson. So I think it's come a long way in the last couple of seasons, Munich. So the outside four cars here, all bang on the pace. Barbosa in with a shout as well. Here we go. Even reaction time. Munich though pulling away as we get down towards turn one. Contact between him and Barbosa. Tiedemann moves across on the wall but goes Joker straight away. Karai going to try and go around the outside. Evjen's got the lead on the inside line. Karai runs deep. Tiedemann takes the lead on the Joker, but it's Evjen who gets the whole shot on the standard lap with Munich right behind. Yeah,
Evjen there getting a good start and just funneling himself in front of the guys and getting himself early on the brakes so that he didn't get hung out to dry, pushed out wide. And we can see now what he can do. We saw really impressive pace from Evjen. And running in the European this year, having run in RX2 last year in a Kristoffersen Motorsport car. We know we've seen Tommy Kristoffersen up here as well, so he's got all the right people around him to put the times in. It's just whether he can deliver.
Good car and good spotter. Right, okay, good spot. 11-time winner last year spotter Tommy Kristoffersen with his son Johan. And good to see them running cars again. Barbosa with a half spin at the hairpin. Tiedemann going to get round the outside. Nicely done from Tiedemann. I saw Pontus this morning at the hotel. I said, how are you doing? Of course, he's doing WRC events in a full WRC car, and he said it's just so nice to be here having fun. And that's not to say he doesn't have fun in WRC, Dan, but the difference is one is his career, and at the minute this is for fun. Of course, he was a pro driver here with EKS.
Yeah, but of course now here with Per Eklund's Beetle, and no pressure. That's the main thing. The pressure that rides with you when you're doing it for a career.
Evjen goes Joker. Rennie Munich on the standard lap. Watch for Tiedemann coming around. Evjen's going to get in front of Tiedemann. Nicely done. So Rennie Munich has stayed out for a lap. Munich now's got to do a perfect lap down and try and slot it in front.
Yeah, so Munich now having to really deliver, but his last lap compared to Sondre Evjen was 9/10 off the back of him, so maybe not quite seeing the pace we saw from him in practice.
Evjen doing a great job here, and then Sondre, of course, coming up through the ranks.
Yeah, of course. I raced against him 2 years ago, and I think he was in RX2 last year as well. He's racing in the Nordic Series in the lights, but then got a deal to do the supercars this year.
Munich into the Joker. Watch for Evjen on the inside. No contest. Evjen's got him as Tiedemann got him as well. Tiedemann going to shut the door, and you see people trying to back the car up there on that gravel braking zone. Dan, that's an easy one to overcharge and take out the guy coming in from the standard lap.
Yeah, it is so easy. You're carrying that little bit more speed from the Joker lap as well, but you're trying to brake. It's downhill, which you can see on the camera. It's hard to see hills on cameras anyway, and to be braking downhill like that, you've got to be really careful on the brakes.
Into the last corner, Sondre Evjen chasing that target time. Will be close, but I don't think it's going to be quite close enough. P3. 1.4 seconds off, and that's enough to go P2. So it's a great run by Sondre Evjen. Result then, Sondre Evjen 2:44.3, Tiedemann is second, Munich is third, Karai fourth, and Mario Barbosa down in fifth. There's where they slot in. So in fact, look, 3 into the top 7. So Sondre Evjen goes P2 ahead of Larsen, behind Brindersen. That is a great drive.
Sondre, a home here, a win, on home soil. How satisfied are you with your drive?
I was really incredible into the first corner because I kind of just had to try it and it went away. So had a good joker and a second time I think also. So really, really happy.
And how's the track feeling as well? A track I'm sure you know very well.
Yeah, it's a bit rough down in the gravel corner, but the rest is really good. And these cars are so amazing to drive. So real big smiles only.
Thank you, well done, and best of luck for Q2.
Here's another look at the start. Evjen in the centre of the grid. Look, finds a bit of space. Munich with a tiny bit of contact with Barbosa. Weird, isn't it, Dan, when you see him move across, no contact. But of course, usually if they're moving across with that amount of confidence, they're going joker. The only issue comes if the guy in P3 also goes, no, I'm going there too. Then it's like, okay, wow, we're going in hot.
Yeah, that is the problem there. But Evjen there was in P3, but actually not quite getting the start I thought he did. I thought he just got clear of the start and went for it, but actually went super committed and late on the brakes and got himself around the outside of Munich. So brave move there as well to get himself up into P1.
Car looks good. This was the joker from Munich. He's not far off at all. So Rennie Munich doing really well this year. They're running 3 cars, 2 in Euro, Mandy August and Rennie Munich, and then obviously Timo Scheider running in World Rallycross as well. Evjen takes the checker, goes into P2. Let's take a look at the standings at the end of this session. Brindersen wins it from Sondre Evjen. Robin Larsen not that happy in third. I don't think he'd be too unhappy. It's early in the weekend, but Tiedemann up in fourth. Then it's JB de Borg and Andrea de Borg. So the de Borg brothers right there. Rennie Munich is seventh. Peter Hedstrom is in 8th place. All of the people who would expect to be up there are up there. Alexander Wahl, look, 2 years out of the car, into 9th. They had a Walfredson, Ikonen and Karai. So a fantastic 12 drivers there, looking like they're going to go through to the semi-finals in European Rallycross Championship for supercars. So 12 super competitive drivers, and we've got a ton more super competitive drivers coming up for you next. So that's it for European Rallycross Championship for Q1. We're moving on now to World Rallycross Championship. There's a lot of cars here now. There's a lot of, take a drink. So we've got World RX coming up for you next. We've got 4 races in World RX. We're going to see, obviously, Andreas Bakkerud desperate to take a win here at home. We must thank out WRX Stats on Twitter for some of the stats that he's bringing about Bakkerud, for instance. Runs a number 13 on his car, 13 P2s. He had more P2s than anyone else. That, though, is a mark of the class of the man. He's always there at the sharp end. He's desperate to win here at home. Let's take a look at the standings as we come into round 5 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen at the top of the table. Timmy holding a 4-point lead over his brother Andreas Bakkerud. Look, he's just 11 points behind. When you think how far off Timmy and Andreas were at the start of the season, they've done a fantastic job to get back to there. 15 points from Bakkerud back to Janis Baumanis. Then it's Timurs Janov just 1 point behind him. Leon Doran just 1 point behind. And then Scheider and Markland both on 52 points down in 7th and 8th. First cars are on the line for World RX. There's 3 in this one. Let's take a look at the grid. On the inside, Timo Scheider, Anton Markland in the middle, and Kevin Hansen on the outside. So there's going to be no quarter given in this one. Kevin led the World Championship until his brother took the lead off him at Silverstone. On board with Kevin, you can see there. Getting himself ready to go. Pretty dark up there thanks to the sunshine. And then Anton in the middle. Anton, of course, last time took a podium for GCK in the McGann. Timo Scheider looking to improve. He was 6th in Abu Dhabi, and of course he was 4th in the UK, so he's super close to a podium. I know he'd love to get that here. Running those extra cars in Euro with Munich and August, there could be a bit more data to work from. There's that ready to race. Here we go, World RX round 5. Good start, Marklund in the middle of the grid. Great start, Kevin Hansen on the outside. Kevin Hansen surely going to go Joker from there. Super committed, though. They've all gone Joker. Absolute disaster, Dan. We spoke about this a minute ago. Marklund up the inside of Scheider. Can't find it. Scheider gets the traction. They've all chosen the same tactic.
Yeah, I mean, Scheider there, the smart one for me. You know, he has every right to go to the Joker lap and to push the guys out there, like we've seen previous with Andreas and Petter. Got every right to go to the Joker lap, and now he's guaranteed, you know, the lead. They have to pass him on track.
Which they're not probably going to do, partly because they know it's going to cost them a ton of time if they do. So did Scheider and co say we are definitely going Joker off the start, or did they go, look, if it's even on the run up there and you can see the guys aren't braking, don't brake, just fire it in, because then you guaranteed the lead?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to make that call, especially when you've got your spotter as well. When you get to that point where you need to brake, you need to know right then. So he'll probably be looking out his side window, but I'm sure it was probably a plan all along. Of course, only a 3-car race, you can almost guarantee the 2 people on the outside are going to go. So
yeah,
you just go
with it.
I'm doing it.
They block them off. I love the tactics, how hardcore the tactics are getting in World RX now. It's like, right, 3-car race, we're in slot 1, can win the start, take us down. Like, no, hang on, they're both going to go, we'll fire it in with them. I mean, it's just brilliant, the detail the spotters are going into. I think it's the hardest job in the paddock.
Oh yeah, hands down. You know, it's, of course, there's so much responsibility riding on your shoulders as well. It's not just the tactics, it's the pressure that gets put on you when you're trying to make these decisions.
Edoc's fastest lap of the day, 39.002. Marklund takes that straight away, and that's interesting, isn't it, in P2 that he's able to do those lap times. What are the other guys doing? Scheider 39.2, Hansen 39.2, so they're only 2/10 off him. This is still quick.
Yeah, so maybe Scheider made up the 2 attempts in the Joker lap there where he pushed them wide, and then Marklund pulling it back again. I didn't really think there was that much of a gap between them, but obviously 2 attempts is enough, with Marklund now looking like he's dropping back into the clutches of Kevin.
Kevin trying to get a nose up the inside. We often see that here where it looks like someone's going to go through. Differing lines as well there, you can see. I noticed this morning the GCK guys were using the handbrake a lot to rotate that car in, long wheelbase car.
Yeah, it's very long, and you can't do it so easily just on the brakes with a car like that, because it's that bit longer, it's got that bit more grip, so it can't rotate quite as easy.
Just so good there riding on board with Kevin Hansen. Gives you a sense of the speed and the drama of following a car this closely. You know, you've all done it at home, been a bit naughty, been a bit too close to the car in front. Imagine being this close. This is as close as you park to a car in front, doing 150 kilometres an hour with gravel flying up. It's such fun. Scheider takes it. Marklund second, Kevin Hansen third. Brindelson's fastest time in Euro was a 2:42.8, and that would have been quicker than these guys. So Scheider with a 2:43.7. So that would have been enough to take P2 in the Euro. So that gives you a good idea. These guys, yeah, they're right up there on the pace immediately. Scheider takes it from Marklund and Kevin Hansen. Great Joker lap tactics from Timo Scheider there. Joker on lap 1 pushed everyone wide. I wonder if that was the plan.
Well, Timo, we're all talking about that opening lap and all 3 of you going for the Joker lap at once. Pretty bonkers start, certainly from television. Was that the tactic for you, the game plan? Was it a reactive move?
Exactly, so we discussed if we are side by side. I tried to send both of them to the Joker, so this worked out finally, and that was the move of the race to decide it my way. So I'm quite happy to make that happen.
And then for you, it was just a case of soaking up the pressure from behind to ensure you got over the line first.
Exactly, just no mistake, clean running, and that worked out, so I'm mega happy.
Thank you, well done, Timo.
Take a look at this then. You heard it from Timo Scheider. This was the plan. He said if we're level at the start, watch, they're level. He's like, I'm going, and he just fires it in there, Dan. Kevin, in fact, look, almost had to get hold of the car thanks to the concertina effect there. Absolutely.
Yeah, so Kevin actually going off the track, having to then go drive back down the bank and not right on board with Marklund now as well. Marklund not having such an issue, trying to get back on the inside.
Cleverly done, wasn't it? Cleverly done. You could hear our commentary from a minute ago, me saying disaster, and of course it wasn't a disaster for anybody, it's a disaster tactically. But that's what's so clever, is Scheider's guys have gone, you're having a disaster because we're forcing you to. We're going to mug you at turn 1. Brilliant tactics.
Yeah, so of course all of the All-Inkle boys are going to be laughing, and of course GCK and the Hansens are just going to be wondering what happened. So but yeah, fantastic move by them.
Tidily done. Scheider leads at the minute. So I wonder how many people are up in the spotters tower, literally feet to mine and Dan's right, going, okay, what do we do? What do we do? And, you know, in theory, Bakkerud on the inside here, they could well be up for a move like that. That would be the sensible thing to do. He's got Bachuska, Timozyanov and Doran on the outside. Timozyanov was right. We are Bakkerud Blue. They're here. They're all here this weekend. I believe there's 200 or 300 of them up on the top of the hill. You can't see it from that. Top right. Top right, look at that. The number of Bakkerud Blues up there with a huge hospitality area. Behind the Monster Energy rig is sort of a big party zone. Great fun. Look at that start tower as well. I love it. It's got such character. So we're having a little clear up. Apparently there is a little oil on the track somewhere. There they are. We'll be hearing all the songs, the classics such as Oi 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 and Baby Blue. Let's take a look at the grid for race 2 of Q1. Andreas Bakkerud on the pole. You can see the blue on the car. You can see the blue in the grandstands. Can he do it here at home? Rokas Bachuska making his debut with GCK Academy running the Renault Megane RS. Timozyanov, the winner at Spa. He was very fast this morning, as was his teammate Niklas Gronholm. And Liam Doran on the outside, spectacular in the Joker lap in practice today. So both the RX Cartel guys are in this one. Bakkerud's car looks to be pointed slightly away from Bachuska. Good start, Bakkerud, bit of wheel spin though. Timozyanov might win this one down to turn 1. Bakkerud, I think, is going to go Joker. He doesn't. Timozyanov goes Joker. Doran on the handbrake, trying to go round the outside. Liam Doran's going to have the inside line. Oh, he's in the wall. That was a spectacular attempt by Liam, but not quite pulled off. Tried so hard. Get a look at the inside of the next one. Timozyanov holds the lead of the 2 guys who went Joker, but it's Bakkerud in the lead on the standard lap.
Oh, fair play to Liam there. I really thought he had it, just trying to get the drive out of the corner, but then of course Timozyanov then sliding out into him and just getting him touched up. But Bakkerud out front, I kind of thought Bakkerud would be going to the Joker on lap 1, I must admit, but no, choosing to go the standard lap and keeping himself there.
So let's see if Bakkerud goes Joker 2 or not. I think he's going to go standard lap again. He does. So Bakkerud's gone standard lap. Bachuska with him. So Bachuska's got a lot to learn, as he said. You know, yesterday he was practicing. He had a short test on Thursday, but I believe it was in the rain. So, you know, learning a new car, and the Megane, Dan, we know handles significantly differently from anything he'll have driven before.
Yeah, it's quite unique, and of course the Skoda he was driving start of the season was quite a short wheelbase car. And the Megane got loads of trick bits on it, and also quite a long wheelbase car, so quite a bit to adapt himself to.
On board with Bakkerud, look how hard he's working on the handbrake, on the gears down. And talk us through this.
Yeah, so just trying to do like smooth movements. We know Andreas is quite a smooth driver, but you can see how hard the steering's twitching. He's on the brakes as he comes down.
Edon's fastest lap of the day, 38.6. Bakkerud's on a mission. So he's trying to get enough of an overlap on Timozyanov down. We think 3.9's enough. But Tim has just taken 0.3 off that. Says Tim got quicker. He hasn't, but he's closed the gap somehow. So that was a good lap from Andreas. Maybe a mistake on the lap before.
Yeah, potentially, but maybe Andreas ran a bit close to the curb there on the last. Timozyanov 3.7.
So Timozyanov's taken another 0.3 off. Is Timmer on a flyer on this lap? So it may be that Bakkerud's made a couple of mistakes on the last lap. Here we go. The Norwegian goes Joker. Watch in the background for Timozyanov. He's sideways up towards fastest lap of the day from Timozyanov. He goes 38.4. It's going to be so close. Bakkerud's got the inside line. Going to go deep on the brakes. Timmer's super deep too. On the handbrake round side by side. Bakkerud nicks it just from Timozyanov. Timozyanov with the bumper hanging off from that contact with Liam Doran in the very first corner. Looks up the inside again. Can't do it. 2:43.7 is the time of Scheider. We've seen fastest lap of the day from both these 2 guys, so we should be expecting that to get beaten now. Bakkerud going to set the crowd alight here around the last right-hander. Understeer in, oversteer out. Where's he going to stop the clocks? Checker flag is flying, and it is a 2:41.7. The Bakkerud fans go nuts. He's top of the table, but that was so close. Takes 2 seconds off Scheider. Timozyanov is right there, but that is the start to the weekend that Andreas Bakkerud dreamed of. Here's the result. Bakkerud takes it from Timozyanov, Bachuska and Liam Doran. Bakkerud goes to the top of the table. Timozyanov goes P2. His fans are going mad. I imagine Bakkerud's going to be pretty happy too.
Andreas, I can imagine that's a little bit of a relief for you, some pressure off your shoulders. What a race that was, though. Talk me through that battle between Timozyanov on the final lap.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close. I got it on the radio all the way through, and unfortunately, we did some changes. it didn't work. I tried to hustle it through there, but I'm afraid that the team is going to come later now and crush us. So yeah, it feels a bit pity, but okay, it's a start and we can catch up.
And a big battle, of course, which will affect the time. Do you think you can go quicker? How much more speed do you feel you've got?
We need to go 10 seconds quicker a lap.
Thank you, Andreas. Best of luck for Q2.
Thank you very much.
10 seconds quicker a lap. I tell you what, if he does that, every R&D department in the world will be onto him. He's joking, of course, but this was the start. We kind of thought Andreas might go joker, and he didn't. But look at Doran and Timmer here.
Yeah, Doran knows he's on the outside, but we're not watching it. But we see the two of them there peel off onto the joker lap, but now we're watching it. So Liam really sending it on the handbrake, almost got the nose of the car in front of Timojanov.
Yeah, he taps the bank, doesn't he? Because I thought Timmer had pushed him wide for a second, but actually he taps the bank, doesn't he? Which straightens the car and puts the nose in.
Yeah, carried that little bit too much speed through there and just got himself hooked up. Of course, the back of the car touching, then moved the weight of the car to the front of the car, touched the barrier, so not ideal for him.
Fastest lap of the day from Bakkerud, followed then, because when we saw that, of course, that's the previous lap. Graphic told us, I'm like, hang on a minute, he's done the fastest lap, he's losing time to Timmer. Then you looked at the splits and you could see Timmer was killing it, and he went 4 tenths quicker again. So, Dan, to me, the track's dry now. How much more development are we going to see?
I'm sure we're going to see it start to get a little bit rough in a few places, because we've seen a hole start to develop, and it's probably only going to get worse as we carry on.
Well, they'll be very happy. I wonder if they'll be silenced or not. Gronholm. Great to see Niklas Gronholm back. Rolls the car up to the start line. Absolute shocker he had. I spoke to him and his dad, Marcus, this morning. Niklas, every single complication you can have from an appendicitis Niklas had. 6 weeks in, he's had all the antibiotics under the sun. He said he's a bit tired, as you would imagine, but we are so glad to have him back. Niklas Gronholm, welcome back to World RX.
Of course, Niklas actually went fastest this morning in free practice as well.
Mega, isn't it? I love that. Tired or not. Right, let's take a look at the grid for race 3, Q1 World RX. Gunnar Schiesser on the inside, Christian Szabo next to him, Yanni Parson in the middle, some spectacular jokes from him. Niklas Gronholm, was Dan Verksted, was fastest this morning in free practice, having come from 6 weeks pretty much recovery from his appendicitis. Kevin Abbring on the outside, the WRC star, switching to Rallycross with ES Motorsport. He did a load of development work on this car, and he's here for Norway and for Sweden too. So what can Abbring do? He's never had a 5-car start. Jump start on the inside for Schiesser. Not ideal, Dan.
No, not at all. Of course, 2 joker laps now, and that's going to be adding, what was it, almost 4 seconds onto his total race time before he's even left the grid.
Yeah, it's just like the worst possible place to do it, isn't it? Somewhere like Lowiak, when it's a 1 second difference, yeah, you stand a chance of a result even with a jump start. Here it is, the left-hand side. Can't really see if he's creeping or not from that angle, to be honest, but watch for the jumps. There it is. No, I think he's done the clutch there, isn't it? That's not a creep to me. You know when the nose comes up like that, you know it's not creeping.
Yeah, these guys have had to do a lot of work on the starts in these Megans, so maybe not quite able to get it right. I'm sure it's probably quite a fine line in that car because of having the inboard brakes compared to a normal car. Like one of the other cars, they're not able to wind the transmission up quite as much as the other guys can. So I'm not sure what the start procedure is for those cars, but maybe it's not so easy on the clutch.
They worked on, didn't they, over the winters? Just can't make the car squat in the same way as well. They found a way to do it because their starts have been better this year, but I'm not entirely. We'll have to kind of have a chat with them. Inboard brakes basically to get the weight centralised. You know, ProDrive, who built the cars originally, and they did a fantastic job on the engineering of it. It's, obviously you want the weight centralised, but start is crucial in Rallycross. Is that compromised too much with the clever engineering? Here we go again. Restart. Schiesser in 2 jokers. Great start, Gronholm and Abbring on the outside. Gronholm's hooked it up best though. Abbring slots in. Szabo, what contact between them? Gronholm's going to go lap, standard lap. Parson goes outside. Szabo straight on the brakes. Parson on the handbrake. Parson bobs in the middle. Szabo's going to lose time on the exit there. We're on board with Szabo now on the run down to the turn 2. He runs into the back of Parson, gives him a little nudge round. Going to have a look up the inside, potentially at the bottom of the hill. You're with Szabo now. He's P5 behind Parson. That's not what Christian Szabo wanted.
No, and already losing time in the Joker out there where Parsonen bogged down, so it's not going to be ideal for him. Gronholm there running a bit wide.
Spectacular from Niklas Gronholm, so fast this morning. Maybe being that side race isn't going to be fast enough. Brave off the start, down 6 weeks away. We saw him get a tag on the way in, and he just kept it lit.
Yeah, it was fantastic for him to get himself from the outside all the way to the inside. So we see Shisha doing the first of his Joker laps.
So Shisha has gone for one Joker. That's nicely done. Good tactics brings him out in front of the other two. He'd have to gap them by a fair old distance to get another one in and hold on to that place, but clever tactics all the same. Now, Kevin Ambring, I spoke to this morning, he said, not worried, that's not the right word, but he's, so much to learn about the start. He said, what is going to be like? He said, when I'm here, he said, when the rally starts, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I know when it's coming. He said, I don't know when it's coming. I'm going to hear 5 other cars starting next to me. He said, and then I've got the Joker. He said, I don't know what I'm going to do tactically. And actually, he's ended up in a great position because he's P2 behind Gronholm.
Yeah, so he can try and hang on to the back of Gronholm here and follow his lines. He is dropping back slightly as Niklas goes fastest lap of the day.
38.2, so he's gone 2/10 quicker than his teammate Timos Yarnov, so the track may be getting quicker on Niklas, who was fastest this morning. Maybe just doing the best job. Sabo looked down. What can he do? Parsonen backing it in at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, but Sabo tidy, and Parsonen is run a bit wide there, maybe catching a hole on the inside of the corner, so not able to capitalise on anything. But Gronholm is the man of the moment, isn't he? He's just running away with it.
Niklas Gronholm into the Joker lap. How tidy is this going to be? A little bit of handbrake, plenty of gas, got nothing to lose. Kevin Ambring with a brilliant Joker lap behind him. This is a great run by Ambring, his debut qualifying session. Kevin Ambring with the ES Motorsport Skoda. We saw Bachuska make it through to the semi-finals at round 1 with that car. Gronholm, though, the man we're watching, 2:41.7 is the target time of Andreas Bakkerud. Bakkerud said they made some changes to the car and he wasn't that happy. Gronholm was fastest in practice this morning. He's done the fastest lap. Is he going to do the fastest race time? I think he's got enough time, but it's going to be close. Over the line, 2:39.9. He does it by 1.8 seconds, near as damn it. So Bakkerud was right, the time isn't enough. Gronholm is fastest with 1 race to go. He's been away for 6 weeks with a horror story of an appendicitis, and there he is. Niklas Gronholm at the top of the table with 1 race to go. That would be an incredible return. Ambring second and Parsonen, Sabo, Sisha. Where do they slot in? Ambring is who I'm keen to see. Ambring goes 4th. That is a great performance, but Niklas Gronholm with the performance of the day so far. He's P1 with just 1 race to go.
Well, Gronholm's car's just rolling down the hill we're currently on. Niklas, 6 weeks out, that is some way to come back. How pleased are you? 2:39 it was as well, 2 seconds quicker than Bakkerud.
It's a good start. I think I gained because of track development, but driving was okay. The first lap, not so nice, but otherwise an okay run. But I think we can be quicker as long as we keep our heads down and try to think where we can gain.
And first race back as well. Physically, I know it's pretty early doors, but physically, are you feeling good?
Yeah, of course. The let's say like overall condition is not ideal, but as long as I rest between the races and take it easy and eat well and that stuff, it's okay.
Brilliant to see you back. Well done.
Thanks.
All smiles from Gronholm. Great start. Look, hooks it up. Bit of contact on the run to turn 1 with Sabo. And that was when I thought, actually, from his trajectory down, I thought he was going to go Joker. And in fact, Sabo here, to me, in some ways, should have anchored up and gone standard lap because he's already had to brake because he sees Gronholm coming across him and loses time on the way in and then ends up behind Parsonen.
Yeah, so it would have just been better for him to just try and slot him behind Gronholm. At least then the two of them could have gone off together. Instead, Sabo, look, you can see from there, he's all over the back of Parsonen, just not able to find a way past. So not the greatest start for Sabo.
No, not ideal. Parsonen, super side race, smoking it up. This was the Joker from Niklas Gronholm shortly after he set the Edox fastest lap of the day. Kevin Ambring looking P2. Good drive by Ambring too. Well done him. Ambring is up there in the times at the minute. We've got 1 race to come, and we have got someone in that who is particularly fast at the minute. Last race of Q1 for World RX Supercar here in Norway. Round 5 of the series. and the World Championship leader, leading the World Championship standings for the first time in his life. And you wouldn't have thought that from Timmy Hansen, but he's never led the standings until the end of the previous event. Timmy Hansen is the World Championship leader on 88 points compared to his brother's 84, with Bakkerud 11 points back. He was lucky with the random draw. He got the pole on the inside. He's been particularly lucky with the random draw, but that's what you need sometimes. Next to him, Cyril Raymond. Look, let's take a look at the full lineup. Hansen, Raymond, Baumanis, De Ridder and Bennett. So Timmy's going to hope to win this start, because to be fair to the others in this race, he is the pace man. If he ends up behind someone here, Timmy Hansen has to win this start with whatever the tactic is, whether he chooses to push them all wide. I think he'll go standard lap.
Yeah, I think so.
Here we go. Watch for Timmy Hansen, World Championship leader on the inside. Baumanis in the middle. Doesn't get a good start. He's got squeezed by both the GCK cars. No way out of that one. Baumanis goes standard lap. Contact! Backwards, two backwards into the Joker. That's Baumanis and De Ridder have gone backwards into the Joker. They've got to spin those cars around. Baumanis' suspension broken. I can see from the commentary position, Timmy Hansen leads. Those two cars are blocking the Joker lap. They're going to have to red flag this one. There's no way it can continue. It won't be representative of the times. Well, Baumanis has made it, so Baumanis has spun the car back round and will carry on, but are they going to red flag it? De Ridder is sitting right in the Joker lap, so Timmy Hansen leading round the right-hander. At the minute, they're carrying on with it. Hansen up and over the jump, he'll go standard lap again. The spotters will have told him what's going on.
Damage to the front of Timmy's car there as well. You can see the bodywork slightly hanging off. I'm just a bit worried he might have bent his steering as well, so could have compromised his whole race, let alone just his start.
Well, Guillaume De Ridder was hoping for a good result here. He said he took, I think it was his debut RX2 win here, and he said he loved this track. Baumanis, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Yannis Baumanis. That is not what he wanted for his birthday. He got married last weekend as well, so Baumanis has been very busy. Yeah, front left corner of Timmy's car with a bit of damage on it. Not looking ideal, Dan, it has to be said. What's his lap time like? 38.3 is bang on it though. The lap time is there. So Hansen's lap time is there, but the race time, I think he's going to suffer for having De Ridder where he is on the inside line at the Joker lap. De Ridder's going to get out of the car now. So De Ridder from the commentary position has got out of the car, so he is safe. But the car is on the racing line, and Dan, how much is that going to cost Timmy when he goes Joker? I
mean, of course, De Ridder's car is parked on the clean line, so that means Timmy is going to have to go around the outside into the dirty stuff as he runs wide there. Really big mistake there from Timmy. That's not his usual precise style, but we're going to see now what happens in the Joker lap, because he's now going to have to run extra wide to avoid De Ridder.
Here we go, watch this then. He's going to go deep and wide, gets on the handbrake and up the bank on the outside there. The car doesn't rotate. Not what Hansen needed. Cyril Raymond does a great job of the Joker just behind him. Ollie Bennett as well, but Timmy with a few mistakes on that last lap. Baumanis still crawling around. You saw him in the back of your shot just a moment ago. So Timmy Hansen at 39.2 on the previous lap. Thanks to those mistakes, he dropped a second there. And I don't think this is going to stick him at the top of the table. So there's De Ridder out of the car. Shocker for him. Loves this track. I'm sorry for Guillaume. The luck's not going his way this year. He's a better driver than this luck deserves. Timmy Hansen with some damage from that turn one contact. Up towards the finish line. He's still, I mean, he's close enough, isn't he? But it's a few seconds off for Timmy Hansen. Goes fourth with a 2.8 slower. So Timmy Hansen, 2.8 off the pace. Here's Baumanis, look, on his birthday. No, this isn't what we wanted for Yannis. I sang him happy birthday this morning. He dared me to. I sang him happy birthday, and this happens, Dan. It's a proper commentator's curse.
It's all your fault, Andrew.
Oh, mate, look at that, though. The damage is huge. The drive shaft is the thing that's pointing out forwards underneath the rear quarter of the car. You can see the damper is exposed. He's dragging the rim round now. The team may be on the radio, but he's desperate to get a finish, not a DNF, because he'll get more points for a finish. So look at that. The wheel is at 90 degrees. He's a DNF anyway because he hasn't got the extra lap. So that's a shocker. All that damage to the car, Dan. I think in some ways he might have been better to pull it out, but Baumanis is going to come round to the finish and has to pull the car off to the holding area.
When he first...
lot of work to do on that. Guillaume De Ridder with a DNF. The car still sitting in turn one. Baumanis with a DNF. Though he made it round, he'd only done 3 laps. He'd been lapped, and so it's a DNF. I'm afraid he doesn't complete the race distance. Bennett and Raymond a third and second. Hansen with a 2:42.8. It's not fast enough. Niklas Gronholm, 6 weeks away from the World Championship. He's been not very well at all, and he's come back and knocked it out of the park. Fantastic run by Niklas. Timmy Hansen, though, 4th. He's with Laura now.
Well, Timmy, absolute chaos on turn 1 there. There is some damage as well to your car. Balmanis and de Ridder off the track on the Joker. Talk me through how you saw it.
Yeah, I think Balmanis just went a too tight line, and he came with, I don't know, 50 kilometers more than me going into the Joker, and he hit my left front wheel. So there was some damage, and then I did what I could, but I lost too much in the beginning. I tried to do more, but it was so tricky through the bumps. The car was not good there. We need to find something different through the bumps. In turn 5, I made a massive mistake. Then going into the Joker with the car, he was blocking the entire line, and the only place still to go was in the very, very loose sand. He grabbed my rear, put my car back straight, and a big understeer right there, and that's not what you want in the Joker. So yeah, very frustrating. Like, everything went wrong, but it's what it is. So just have to get it back together, focus again. I think we are fast. It was just this race didn't go our way at all.
Better luck next time, Timmy. Thank you. Well done.
Take another look at that start. Timmy Hansen on the inside. Look, now Manis goes one way then the other. At this point now, fires the car through the gap. Boom, into the side of Timmy's car. Picks up de Ridder, who's an innocent victim in this one. Wow, and look at the speed he got fired at, Dan. It's like being fired out of a cannon.
Yeah, that was so fast. And poor de Ridder, he literally has been taken out by someone it's not his fault. You know, Silverstone was an example, and then here again. So, but you can see the damage to Balmanis' car wasn't actually so bad when he left compared to when he pulled off the track. So that just progressively got worse, and the damage to the front of Timmy's car as well compromised him. And it's just not been Timmy's race this turn now.
So this was where Timmy ran wide into the dirt. Now look, he comes back the other way. You can see he's in the gravel on the outside, so he loses time here, but watch for the Joker too. So we know he lost a second on this lap. That's lap 3. Comes into the Joker lap now. Dan, talk us through this. What's he trying to do? He's
trying to rotate the car really late and try and get a big angle on the car, but there's a bank which you can't really see on the TV, but he rotated the car, so the back of the car went into the bank, and it just flicked him back around the right way, and he wasn't able to get the Joker lap done perfectly.
So here are the standings after Q1. Niklas Gronholm leads from Andreas Bakkerud. So what a great story we've got here. Gronholm has been away for 6 weeks with illness, comes back and smashes it. He's fastest in free practice, he's fastest in Q1. He said to me on 3 different occasions now, look, I might as well just go for it. Go on, Niklas. Andreas Bakkerud racing at home. The only Norwegian in the world field this year is P2. Timazyanov in the other Hyundai is P3. GRX are looking super strong here. Don't count out Timmy Hansen. That didn't go his way at all. It wasn't his fault, and Timmy will be bang on it. He was on it this morning. Abbring in 5th. That's a fantastic result for him. That's his first ever rallycross heat race in this one. Scheider in 6th. Then we've got Bachuska in 7th. So Bachuska, look, is the fastest of the GCK Megans. So he's in the academy squad, has gone P7 on his first race. So Abbring and Bachuska, absolutely brilliant performances from both. Scheider in 6th too. Markland is 8th, look. Let's see the bottom. So Liam Doran in 9th place. Kevin Hansen 10th. Both of those guys can go quicker than that. We know that from their teammates. Cyril Raymond in 11th place. Of course, Doran ended up in the bank, didn't he? Kevin Hansen didn't work out either. Cyril Raymond down in 11th. Yanni Parson is in 12th. That's a good result. Sabo, terrible traffic after a not great start. Shisrit, jump start, double Joker. And then Bennett and Balmanis ends up 16th place there. So work for those guys to do. Great start from Gronholm, I have to say. Like, you know, he's such a nice lad, and you know that just, yeah, he stood a chance of winning the World Championship. That's pretty much been taken away by something completely out of his control. So you'd be gutted. He's come back and he's gone, have some of that. Yeah,
you got to feel sorry for him, haven't you? Like, he had the win taken off him from Abu Dhabi. He was on the pace immediately at the start of the season, and then the 6 weeks off, missing 2 events, just put him out of it, hasn't it? But he's come out here and he's just delivered, and he's showing everybody what he can do. Yeah, brilliant. Great stuff from Gronholm. So a fantastic drive by him. I'll say also Kevin Abbring, never done a rallycross race, you know, not a 5 in a line like that. Well, that's a brilliant result. Yeah, it definitely is. And it's super intimidating when you're sat 5 cars in a line with anti-lag going. Like, if you've never done it before and your first one is in a World Championship event, you can only imagine it's...
You're not easing yourself in, are you? Not easing yourself in at all. Now, we've seen track conditions make a bit of a difference here. We can actually see right outside our window now, they're actually watering the track as we speak. So it dries, it cleans, but also holes develop. So, Dan, this one can go both ways, but we're going to see which way with the spinner of doom. So, well, it's not its real name, but let's have a look at the spinner and see whether or not the grids are going to be reversed or standard for the next one. So, fastest first or slowest first. Remember, traditionally, it's slowest first, and I think that's what the quick boys are going to be hoping for, and they're not going to get it, are they? They are. So, it's going to be slowest first for Q2, and that means that the track is going to develop in the normal way. But also with the holes down, what kind of a difference could that make?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the holes get developed, and you have to drive a little bit more careful in the corners there because it really rocks the car around. You could hit a hole wrong and it could throw you completely offline. So guys are going to have to look at dialing in suspension settings and really work on that through the day. So not only have we got water, but we have the holes in the track. So
it's going to dry out probably because RX2 and Euro are going to be before the World guys, but the holes could come too. So much more racing still to come. We've had a brilliant time in the commentary box. Laura has made her way down to GRX, and she's with Tim Azyanov, who's sitting in P3 after that first session. So see you down there.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I've made it over to Tim Azyanov's tent here. Talk me through what happened in that opening lap. There was a lot of damage to your car, wasn't there? It looks like it's pretty much been repaired.
Yeah, it's been some small damage actually. We lost the rear bumper, one corner connector. The tactic was that if the guys inside of me good on the start line, then I go follow the joker lap immediately from the first lap, and I try to do it. And actually, I'm mostly protecting my back from the attack.
And we can just see it on the screen here, actually, Tim. Sorry to interrupt, but here is the move. Talk me through it.
Yeah, now I'm going to slow down to protect my back because I'm waiting the action from the back. And now Liam is passing me. And now this is just like a collapsing what's happened because he's been quite wide into the entry. And I know, but now it's the rear bumper which is flying away, but it doesn't matter.
And for those of us who haven't driven supercars before, what's it like to drive a supercar with a rear bumper falling off?
You don't feel it actually. It's like few 1 kilo out from the car and that's all. It's no any difference on the speed. Actually, it's not the aerodynamic changes because it's on the back. If it will be on the front, then I was thinking differently, but not now.
All good, and all good for Q2 as well?
Yeah, everything is good. We are position 3, I think. Teammate is first, and now we continue to fight for the victory in this race. We just need to concentrate on the full race. The Q1 is done. There's still 3 to go.
Thank you very much, Tim. Best of luck for Q2. Well, that is it from qualifying 1. That's it from down here. Of course, Timmer, he certainly loves this track. He's got the lap record here in history. Andrew, Dan, what do you make of what Timmer said?
Well, I always love what Timmer says. Whatever he says, woo! You don't feel it's just 1 kilo. Like he's just a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. But he is right. You know, you've got something hanging off the back. You don't really notice it. But if it, like you said, if it was on the front, then you might feel the difference on the steering, especially if it gets caught underneath the car. But yeah, epic way to describe it.
Yeah, you got to love Tim Azyanov. Tim Azyanov, remember, very nearly took the victory from Andreas Bakkerud, the one that he loves so much, because he had a puncture and it looked like he was on to take it. Don't count Timmer out. 14:20 Central European time is when we are next on. That's going to be with Q2 for RX2, Euro RX Supercar and World RX Supercar. We've had action literally from 10 seconds in with Gryazin rolling it to right at the end there with the contact in the first corner of the last race. Fantastic rallycross all weekend. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later this afternoon.